I need God, the most compassionate, all-knowing of the accursed Satan. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, and in him we seek help, and may his prayers and peace be upon Muhammad and his good and pure family. May God's blessings be upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad and hasten their relief. The speech was about the first evidence or proof for my proof of the necessity of existence by reforming the doctrines, or for my proof of an existence that does not need the proof of its novelty, but it is dear to this evidence and this proof. The most important pillar of it, or no less than the most important pillars of this proof, is the law of causality, and that matter is the resultant, and that if thing does not exist, it is contingent nothingness, and then they are found. This needs a cause to cause its existence, and the restriction of nothingness is that it is nothingness. Observational non-physical non-existence. After that, we will point out the difference between observational non-physical non-existence and physical non-existence. Observable nothingness is nothingness as opposed to what is objective. But physical nothingness is not nothingness. Mind and emptiness, which is a relative vacuum as well, and this, God willing, will be discussed when we will talk about the Big Bang that lasted 1 billion years in astronomy or in the system of books. This was not due to non-philosophers, but rather it was intentionally due to vacuums, and this, God willing, will be researched by SETI now, Mala Bathur. Now only my editorial reasoned resurrection is incapacitated. The law of causality is one of the most important pillars of the principle of necessity and possibility. If a thing did not exist, then it needed what, the cause, creating, affecting, or vary. We said that this research is based on rational research and has nothing to do with experimental research, meaning an a priori issue, not a posteriori issue. There is a difference between them on tribal issues. We do not need experience, science, and the natural and experimental sciences. Rather, the natural and experimental sciences are based on what is on them, and it is one of their principles. However, unlike it in certain judgments, they depend on what? They depend on experience. It is clear and correct if we assume that causation is an issue that is an a priori issue. So causation is a logical a priori, via a rational, a priori, so a priori sciences cannot adhere to it or negate it, and this is what he associated in its worst case if we go down a degree and a step. We said, we agree with you that it is a water issue. Dimensionality. The natural and physical sciences can attribute it. And to deny it. Here comes this research, which is that quantum theory or quantum mechanics is either in causation or not in causation. Irwad al-Beta is of particular importance. Congratulations to some of the consolations. I found that they do not comment on our master. Ma tant, behind the pampering. Congratulations to the evidence. If causation is not researched, I will not say in the end that this is an accident. Then it was in need of a cause. Otherwise, two reasons say, and I left the theory of quantum mechanics, the need for what, for two reasons, and all day of righteousness. The beginning of the 20th century AD was marked by remarkable achievements in physics as a result of scientists continuing to challenge useful ideas. In 1098, he left in the German Zei. Again for his theory, which is called the theory of the entire interpretation of the emitted light spectrum. Look at the other. This is Merdazaj al-Azi. They are reviewing this research with a camel because they are strengthened. We may read all of it. What is the subject of this theory? Come with us to the 10th volume of the Encyclopedia. The International Arabic Encyclopedia, Part 10, pages 644. Its topic in one word. This is the theory. The forces within the button is what the button is so that we know what the forces are inside it. The branch of physics called quantum mechanics deals with the issue of the forces inside the button and the movement of particles under what atoms, and you have even studied quantum theories. A powerful level of a hill of electrons is filled to the last, a powerful level that is inside the button, the Maya of God, full of research, and here comes the spring of my mind, you will still search for it, and it is. That these buttons or the ruling forces inside the buttons cannot be determined in their place and speed at the same time. If the speed is determined, its place is not known, so the character's place cannot be traced, and this imprecision that we expressed indicates determinism. Determinism is what it is, which is that it cannot reach mathematical and astronomical accuracy in determining the place. What did they know? This is the theory that I rely on, and King Maulana in the matter of black holes is responsible. This is why in the 26th volume, Maulana in the Morning, 200 and 250, is Kingus Tebben, 19,240, and his death will not be written. He will not have died. Finally, Maulana is a scientist in my field who has succeeded in communicating and has reached what he considers to be the most important discoveries in the field of gravity. They made these fatal errors because basically all of Newton's laws of gravity from Maulana's reached to the black holes. Hey, all the quantum ones disappear. Maulana is important or nothing is known about it, and they say that 9/10 of knowledge in knowing Quanjin is the black hole about which we do not know genetically, and we do not know anything about it since it is called the world of physics. We have descended from relativity. My theory of talking about gravity is two different things from the theory of gravity. To whom does Nuet go? Hawking's theory does not support the theory that the origin of the universe happened 10 billion or 20 billion or 20 billion years before that. What was the non-existence or did not exist? They did not know this about here. The basic research says we are. We would like to talk about the laws of the universe before, 20 billion years before that, what was the non-existence of an incubation, or was it all now, God willing? After that Hawkian we ask him this question, what do you say about before the explosion, the universe, or the explosion? We exclaim, what is the clear evidence of our research is important. My condolences, because we have made the most important issue, if the existence of God exists, there is an issue more important than this issue, and Hawkian's fame goes back to the theories of what is known as the Sukul Sud, to say that the correct one is the Sukul Sud. They are invisible bodies in space with a powerful force of attraction. They are a God from which it is impossible for even the gull to escape. That is why you want to get to know these holes within the holes. How do you recognize them when they are black and dark and dark? You do not want to send the madness into them until you recognize what does not exist. What are they doing? The two works of Dia and Al-Nur are Mula and To, because it is made, and to learn about the laws of the Zub and specialization is a star, and they come to the black Zub. He said that he had been assisted by him as a star, and my eye had seen how they came to see him, saying that he had sought help from him. In a field of physics called quantum mechanics, to prove that black star emits atoms and final radiation, so they looked at it entirely mechanically from inspiration. G. The question is, this is an exaggeration. We did not make this introduction either. The question that we discussed in the previous research. Mechanic Kamhal is in the process of denying causation. It is a denial of inevitable killing. What did we mention in the previous research? We said their insistence that it does not deny causation, but rather it denies what is deterministic after that. It is your mechanics. The quantum question. Does your quantum mechanics need the need of the non-existent? 1,000 questions have a cause or do not deny the answer. Why do you not deny the question when you deny tautical determinism? Your complete place means that you believe in annihilation. It means that in contrast to determinism, what is there in anarchy? We said that in your place are the complete ones. Believe what in determinism versus determinism? What is there? So, put that your answer is God, the same as those who hold the theory. Mechanical like a word, what do they say? They say, you cursed me, about another determinism, not determinism, based on classical physics. They did not realize the meaning of it, and my condolences, do not confuse them between the two matters. A set of Newtonian physics rules. Antisepticism was making us miserable. Be inevitable. Animecanic quantum, we destroy the inevitable. Keep up with this mess. In front of you is this wonder, the great design of Hu Kang, and it is filled with longing for my phrases once again. Longing for the phrases, dear, on page 91. These phrases are clear, and they are well understood. They seem to be on the page. Seeking to read the previous research. It may seem that in the form of quantity they have been undermined. I thought that nature is governed by laws. I thought that nature is governed by laws. Here are some pictures. If you look in your place, you say that nature has its laws and does not have laws. It means chaos. Thus, if only the physics is broken, it will be silent. Chemistry is silent, astronomy is silent, all the natural sciences are silent. What? Because it is based on the fundamental what laws, and such laws contradict each other, but this is not the case. No, nature is not in your place. The Canto dog figured, that nature is sterile. What is this not the case? And instead, if we ignore the theories of your silent place, and instead lead us to accept a new form of determinism, the not is in exchange for rejecting classical determinism, and what is in exchange for it? What is determinism of another kind? With his goodness, but his goodness, may God reward you. Khayyam looks at the state of the system at a given time. The laws of nature determine the different possibilities for each of the past and future moments, instead of enumerating etc. Here, my consolation here is the difference between Ashton and the two theories of quantum mechanics, is that Ashton insists on the determinism of what he has arrived at. He does not accept it as inevitable. What? In your place the word. How clear is my consolation? My Father created for you a financial requirement. Come with us in the book Penetrating the Mind. My condolences. On page 91, this is their statement. He says Al-Tajid, and why was it that Al-Shatin is on page 90? He looks at time with a view of inevitability. Come on, it's inevitable. The inevitability that he believes in depends on the time in which he believes. He saw that the past, present and future already exist. Amazing. What is the matter? What does he think? He says that the past, the present and the future are not just the present from the growth of the existence of the past from the souls of the Animjin means their origin. Do you not see it if it exists in its position and the future why the Anjin exists in its location but you do not see it because you are connected to this obligation, bring it down, see, prostrate, find a valuable God. So if I told you something about the future, I will tell you about nothingness, to tell you about an existent whose existence will come in my time, one day of it. Awareness of the difference, that I swear, because I am delusional, is one of the most important principles found in philosophy. About the past, the present, and the future. The past is non-existent, the future is non-existent. And the present exists. The answer is mine. But the grief of time consumes the hopes of the one who is above time, so what? The past and present tenses are not used. Do not use. Don't stay connected to another world, talking in two worlds. The term damned is called adhar nik. Connected to the unseen world. Don't talk in the world of physics. In the world of time. In the world, duration says it exists. Present. Real exist. If we are able to depict an existing entity, then it will appear. Time passed in two worlds. In our world, as he sees the present, he stones the past, and he stones the one who has fallen. And if you get the reward, and if you are able, after Masana, after 200 years, to choose a problem and discover a problem, he can read the past, with them always existing, so he can understand it or he cannot, in the ability to show you or not to understand this, but if they are non-existent, they are obedient, or they are non-existent, they are non-existent. This is one of the most important types of jealousies among them. Mullah here says that there is indeed a real existence, so this saying cannot be consistent with these two words. Here is the exasperation, let us know how much. If the past exists, the present exists, and the future, what exists, and the present, what is the past, and the future, and the present, what is the present? So between the present and the past, and the future, and the past, there is possibility and there is the inevitability of existence. From here he said we cannot accept the look of your perfect place that inevitably turns away. What is this Waba? So, whoever knows the Muazzi and the laws of the Muazzi, I can now know what is happening. And whoever knows the laws of the present can, in the sense of determinism and determinism, say, what is the meaning of it? What is this mechanic? He was talking about Pat and I don't know. I should have reached out to you, so you can say that the present is probabilistic and the analogical is not in the future. It is as if you were saying about something that has already occurred from the past that it is probabilistic and variable. Don't say that I am yoked to take refuge. And the present is deterministic. What is successive without the past and the future is deterministic, successive without what from the truth. I did not express my condolences, and I was not able to deliver the request for consolation, and this is madness. There is no doubt that the past and the reality say that interest can change. It can change, but it does not happen. How can his uncle change? And on him, and perhaps that is what made the conflict intensify between the supporters of deterministic thought, and at their head, Al Shatton, and the supporters of the probabilistic idea, which was adopted by the mechanics of complete disbelief. If I said, let them go, I am dear, I am searching far from your mind, because the horizon is words, and terminology, be careful. After understanding the meanings of his words and his interpretation, then we move away quickly, because he is full of good reasoning. So I said to him, why are the theories of your perfect place now unable to understand their speed and the place in a certain way with a financial statement? What about determinism, and if all of them were discovered for what reason? I would have called determinism, which I say is not a concept, and this is why it is lost. There is a difference that sees that your quantum mechanics is incomplete. You have preserved something and you have missed things, and that we have concealed the variables. What is knowledge yet that does not reach its hidden meaning? We knew it. We would have obtained the static determinism behind this protrusion. Most likely, there is darkness, but what do you not know? What do they know about the share of this? He says it's winter. Our friends, have Mika's offspring. I say no, do you want to find a way out? All of them, well turned around, he says behind this, it was mentioned by Mika, so the truth is that the conflict was about determinism and was never about causation. This is the basic principle that we are in doubt about, as some people thought, and the best proof of that, and so on, a question. Let us leave you helpless. We ask, who are you? We also ask. I say, between you and God, you have reached the end of all physical laws, except for their end yet, and we have achieved the issue with nothing more. Or you are at the beginning of the path or at the end. I continue on the path and tighten it all up, so if after one of the people of the remembrance he says, this is for the believer, the people of the remembrance, then they ask the people of the remembrance, then he is a mullah. If he says, we have reached what is the end of the matter, if he says, we have reached the end. If we say, our Lord, at the beginning of the path, it is laws except that we do not know them. And to the domain of God, then, the one who is true to the truth, and from whom I desire, come with us again to his book, the great decisiveness. What are the questions that preoccupy every human being? He says, what are the questions that people usually ask? This is on my condolences page, on the page I call a nest of writing, and people usually ask a number of questions, such as, how can we understand the world in which we find ourselves? How does the universe behave? What is the reality of reality? Where did it all come from? Did the universe need the creator of our world? Unless this is what most of us say, I mean the minority who do not think beyond it, or which of them is the least. What matters is their mind. Woe to the self-respecting human being. What? He cannot do it, and most of us do not think about it when we wake up, worried about these sorrows. He hopes that even if it seems that we will not die, he will rise and rise. He hopes that he is dead and deludes himself into being alive. But we all worry about it some of the time. And we have arrived to this. To the least. This book happens. It does not provide the answers required by Egyptian discoveries and modern luminous theories, as it leads us to a new picture of the universe. What are these new pictures? What's wrong with him? Pictures of the new ones, first of all, the theories of your place in Khamsania, our lack of knowledge of the laws of Black Zakub and others. Let me have the picture and information that supports another vision of the universe that neither Uten nor Ishtal had. He says it is completely different. That picture is traditional and different even from the picture that we drew only a decade or two ago. However, we can trace the preliminary plans for it. This new concept is not nearly a century old. We would have said, the theory of your latent place has begun. What about who has reached the point of time? I mean, it is very full and has become a full land. The concept of imitation remains for the unknown. I embody sweat according to paths and paths that are completely numerous, that is, they are the place, they are the time, they can be determined and the moment is precisely at every moment of time. This is what you know and this is what is also necessitated by the theory of winter. Why? Because the past, present and future exist in one and the same way, if we can find them, this place, this speed, and this explanation is not armed enough for daily purposes. This is in ordinary matters, except that in the 1930s, this classic image began to no longer exist. It can explain what appears to be strange behavior that can be observed at the sub-zero level. Through my theories, your full place tells us to study the buttonhole and the buttonhole level. From that, theoretically, a different framework called quantum physics was adopted. The article ended with the quantum theory becoming remarkably impressive due to its prediction of events that take place at this level. Until Molana says, until the advent of modern physics, it was generally believed that there was a possibility of obtaining all kinds of knowledge, meaning the world we were. We raised the blade to the natural and material truths about the world by thanking the essence, and Ramadan by thanking the inevitable essence. We were like this, from Judea to Aristotle and Plato until this day. Things are not what they seem to you. We sense that, but this amazing success of modern physics, based on concepts like have aim, has proven to us that this is possible or not possible. I ask very much, when did you say that I am? What? And for my shine. Sean, you're legalizing. If the earth is the center of the world, it revolves around something else. Jehovah before Kar thought that the Urzan the center of the world, and every hungry person is running around playing games around God. If he comes, he becomes great, we swear by God, isn't that so? Isn't that so? And that man is the most honorable of the beings that God has created. This is free from the meanings of my expression. I am free from it. Darwin, this is the West, is your excrement. He said, cure the jinn, you, and the hypochondriacs, what? They said that it is fixed for continuous. Is this? Is this? Do you spend what we believe? Constant to continuous. Do you change? Is Sephard after what Kalina did? He told us, is Sephard with him? We have discovered in the history of science a succession of better and better theories and models. We have found that science is at a standstill, This continued from Plato until the theory of New Temanu, silent except for the theories. Talk to you here. The central question. Naturally, women are now Mulan. We have arrived at the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st century to the laws of no, the theories of McCankle, or the theories of McCankle. As we said, praise be to God, Lord of the worlds, and we have achieved the issue with no more. What do you say? Look at a person who respects himself and respects his knowledge. This is speaking. He says, will this sequence arrive? I mean, in development and in knowledge in the natural sciences. In the humanities and religious sciences, we said that there is no problem. Will this sequence inevitably reach the final point of the theoretical end of the universe? All the laws of the universe have healed us. That will smell all the power and anticipate every note we can make. I mean, definitely. Would you not, if you were able to discover all the laws, be able to say, if someone happens, and someone happens, and someone gets upset, then what do we hope for? Is it definitely? Is this the incarnation of causality if the law of causality is applied? I mean, this tape generates what? This person who adheres to the Sharia and does not have any grants generates what? Existing. Do we obey or do we not obey? Or will we continue forever in the conclusions of Afzal's theory? Has the day arrived for us? And until now we do not know that we are in the first step and after us is 90 steps, or 90 steps and 90 steps, or in the step is 90 steps and after us we will be rescued from paradise, we do not know. Yes. Where are you, our Lord, in the system of natural sciences? You have learned from them, I do not know. This question is from the friend of a human being, a specialized scientist, and you are one of the leading specialists in the theories of modern physics, Mullen, and there is no doubt about this matter. Yesterday, we continue to find better theories without going through the ages on this theory, which cannot be modified, and it is not possible for a person, in language by language, to arrive at the theory and say, what did they say, what did they do? Conclusion of Al-Mujtahidi after a mineral in physics, there is the conclusion of physics, and there is no one to say without finding this theory, which they cannot modify this conceptually. His answer is an important and dangerous question, my dear. So far, we do not have a specific answer to this question. I, as a theoretical scientist and one of the specialists, cannot say that I have reached a conclusion, but what is theoretical is a candidate. We propose a hypothesis that we assume, God Almighty willing, after 20 years, after 3, as in relativity. Those who proposed it or denied it by 2 inches. After tens of years, in multiple decades, they said that what he said is not correct because, despite the fact that we have scientific tools and scientific technology, we do not know what that rabbit can detect. In my life, and from here, you understand well, my condolences, what we read in the previous research, the Great Cosmic Prize for Gasm and the Ummah of the Cosmic for Life, by Paul Dieuze. There, what did we say in Sabhat Lieltajeh? My condolences, we said that the most interesting question is whether the laws in the books are actually the laws of physics, or are they the best jurisprudence regarding the laws of physics as well? Among them, now, are you, what do they know? He says this is the best of authority, the best of our understanding of the laws of this world. I mean, everyone acknowledges that this world is with you. What? What is it? But did they stumble upon the laws? But what we know about these laws might cause them serious harm. And it may not happen to him except here, dear ones, from here you find diligent attempts at how to respond between Einsteinian determinism and quantitative determinism or your perfect place. We said that it is also inevitable. Not so. Very complicated books have been written so that we can get to the theory, how to approach with between these. And between these? One of the most important books in this field is my dear book, The Comprehensive Theory, a Model for the Theory of Everything. The Comprehensive Theory, a Model for the Theory of Everything. Yesterday, one of the isolated people follows me full of it from Morocco or Algeria. You reach me full of it. All your questions about this say our master, and I do not know. The leeches from the Shiites are apparent from the Shiites, because our master said, let us repeat what he says, master. Rather, I knew something distorted. So before asking this, which is that these sources are for you, how do you obtain them first, and how do you read them secondly, because it is more permissible to find that you take the line from the page is 7, and you tie it with a line of page, 5-7, and with a line of page, Amitino 5. How is this yoke tied, even to the reader of the book, it is you. When it is said, page Amitino, Kemsinish. How do you remember the phrase, the tick, come to me, be on the level, and it does not come to the mind of the honorable? This individual is something extraordinary, I do not exist. This is a practice of doing exercises like a sport. If you do not exercise, you will not be able to reach the level of someone who lifts a weight of 400 kilos upon a pound. Your nation will gain 20 to 50 kilos and lose. Confess a good deed to your person, and it will make you feel good. Don't be upset if you are not praised for your weight. If you are not prayed for your weight. If you are not prayed for your weight. If you are not prayed for your weight yesterday. What is it? Aaron Mulan, and this must be 1 Mulana, 2 dead, 1 Taladin, Kalushalu, my bastards, I will attack you. Molana is between you and God, meaning you and I are students. For he brings them together, she is a Jazosh Shala, and between him and him. This is how he can. This is the exercise of my consolation practice. This is a gym exercise, but a sport with a leg and a scientific sport. Learn with us. My consolation for this book in the introduction. Thus he says. In this book I put forward a concept that can represent objective truth as a tool for exploring the depths of reality, and I believe that this model the model that theorized everything. The theory of plural and heaven. This is a model that has the potential to return us to a deterministic world. Because in your dormant place you want to end that, inevitably from below. He says to these two theorists, the rarest one takes us back to the determinists, Margara. And you are necessarily another believer among the determinists. Until he says it's not a good idea. An effort has been made to explain what has not been explained. The long quest falls into the scope of theories of everything, and the so-called theories of everything aim. What is this theory at the state of mismatches between Einstein's relativity, which dissolves gravity, and quantum physics, which deals with subatomic particles? How did they reconcile Eshteen, which leads to determinism, and me, in the form of the perfect, which? What does this determinism deny? The explanation is that it is between the two parts of knowledge. One of them conflicts with a reason other than the different explanations given for the shape of space in these two theories are not compatible. Einstein offers an explanation of the calm. I looked at the camouflage uniforms and provided an explanation. Theories of everything are supposed to eliminate conflicts, and the concepts of quantum mechanics and general relativity are confined to one big theory. And this is the one that surprises him, and this is the one that is possible to eliminate, the last lead of Stephen Hogan's masters to reach what is that mother theory that raises the paradise of the contradiction between these and come with us to his book A Brief History of Time, my condolences. These are his phrases there, these are his phrases here. They say, in any case, that Luke will cure us of a complete theory of his genera, meaning control, create a theory that the difference in its location and the mechanics of the coming, what does it include together, as it should, with the passage of time, be able to be understood by everyone. And not just a few scientists who understand it. Then all of us philosophers, scientists, and ordinary people will be able to contribute to the discussion of the question of why we and the universe exist from our time, and unless we reach the ground, we will see that our hand is still limited in saying, who created it is invalid, nor did we create an answer to that question. Oh, the question that brings together all of these. In that, you will have the final victory for the human mind. We have repeatedly mentioned that you have committed a crime. He said, because then we will know the mind. And all the time, we will understand how to obey. What? God, how did He create this world, how He organizes it, and how He manages it? He is this man who is the best man. This man says because I propose a theory, he means a theory. This one says that until now we do not have a specific answer to the question, but we have a theory that is nominated to be the theory that is the end of everything. One theory that can explain what everything is about. If there is such a theory, two actions. This is if we accept that it exists, for example, or it may not exist. But this year, his work has become shorter. History will require that knowledge, technology, and progress will require that first things exist. What is this theory? It is known as the M theory. His theories Is this theoretical or not? Theoretical in the usual sense I suggest. It is a whole family of different theories, but it is one belief. Each of them is a good description of the observations in some physical states only, and it resembles the map to some extent. The earth is broken. So, it is a complete set of theories. But the heaven of time is a single framework in theory. The earth is spherical for something bad. If you want, you can find a map for it. The map is flat, spherical, with sharp edges on it. Mull paper and found a floor of the carrel from which you can show all or part of it to whom, because when you show the upper surface and the lower surface of the oryx, you can and cannot, then you must do what you take a map of the lower part of it, and take a map of its side, and take a map of the right, from the left, in front, from the opposite, from the top. Will you meet each other and say, this is a map, huh? Ground Cora isn't like that. Not like that. He says theory, or is it also a collection of maps so that we can reach the map or condensation? As is well known, no one can harm the entire surface of the earth on one map. So, he says, he makes the sky the farthest north and the south is greater, so that he does not overlook the poles. In order for us to draw an accurate map of the entire earth, we must use a set of maps, each of which covers a specific area. When the maps are installed, some of them with stops, they will show the apparent and the theoretical, or similar. This is not a set of theories, but under two superstitions, one, and from here we sit and stare for a long time, and from here I do not want man, by God, I am only presenting these researches so that man can humble himself in the world, and if he reaches something to say that the truth has become, what will it be? In my pocket and based on this fact what does he do? He slaughters, kills, issues fatwas, and believes that they are dismissed as disbelief. Why? Because his progress has reached a reality, and this is not only in the religious sciences, in the natural sciences as well. Did they not disbelieve in Newton? Did they not disbelieve in those who knew little? Did they not disbelieve in his old age and lack of his mother? Is it so that they disbelieved and said, and the treasure is money, infidelity is money, and that is why I would like that the glory of this fever, that I have the heart of Sharim, is worried, meaning her heavy concern. How can we that you heal the code that we can, and that every evening comes to the universe and we answer all the questions, so solve the code of the universe, so solve the code of this universe, see without them knowing the question of the creation of the universe. He is the one who said that this universe has a code. Look at the end. He said that this universe has a code. If you discover it, if you discover that law, you can find out all of his secrets. This is from D. who says to the humanist that Gadashan means that until now you saw the code and did not discover it, because of the number of people who told you that there is a theory, Hawken, who told you that there is a theory. Explain everything. Did he expel the state? Why is this? Because he finds everything on the basis of wisdom and everything on the basis of law and everything on the basis of arrangement. It is he who gave everything to his creation as a predestination. He reduced it with a piece of water, and there is no salt. This one moves by nature by this law. Everything was created according to a special law, and all of it is based on Hashnu. He did not respond. I asked for a Quranic study and a word that was made by me. He does not believe in either the Quran or any other Kalam site, but I say that the Quran is, look what he said. Look what the Quran said. Come to the first verse. Come. They are mocked in his hand, here he places them where he is, clearly destined. This has become a study, as the Mahdism brought me to life. Come with us to this introduction. It is a valuable introduction, no less. If you read the whole book with you, it is full of dear questions that have preoccupied humanity and no one has ever lived, and will continue to preoccupy. This book presents a vision of the modern human being's quest to explain the natural phenomena that he encounters and to overcome the difficulties that confront him. There are no more pleasures than solving the riddles of the universe, how it began, how it was formed, why things are pleasant in going this way, and the laws that control the movement of its miracles and the fate of those who face it. Waiting for him are the existence of other universes other than this universe, along with the nature of life. Does it have a purpose? Are there other universal lives? And how can we as human beings explain what is inexplicable as our cognitive tools break down? He said these questions when we appear before him, before mathematics, before physics, before chemistry, before the natural sciences, they make him miraculously shake. They raise the white pile of nonsense. He says, I cannot answer these questions, but I can lead you into illusion, myth, and fairy tales. Would I suggest to you what was one of those who come up? Our people are well dismantled. Asa is the spectre. The answer is Tamnesia. He says, where you like our cognitive tools, from the mathematical equations to the physical laws, to the principles and foundations on which science itself is based, as happens in black clouds. All our rules do not fail to explain or in the moment that preceded the Big Bang. From the Big Bang to this day, we discovered what the laws are, and this is at the beginning of the path. We are, and what exists before the Big Bang. Science says so incapable. Humanity's consciousness may be lazy. It will retreat. What will it retreat except a stage? Imagination, imagining, and their delusion. After this, they are playing with them. Ha, ha. This is how humanity was created. This is how it was created. And perhaps this is the secret that the Holy Quran did not provide an obedient opinion on these issues. We believe that if it wanted to explain how man was created to be obedient and not to be obeyed, yes, how he created quantity to be obedient, but he made our expressions open in meaning. All scientific theories say what the Quran intends, and man is ahead of what he stands or wraps around, and what is true is true. It is clear that he began to say that it is the stage that is subject to conditions more than it is subject to objectivity, and he means a time when myths recover themselves after a solution, unless it melts back to myth until we reach the time when legends recover themselves after their long panting before the clouds of common science, after that before the clouds of science that have passed over thousands of years. But the sciences remain from the grains of the human eye. We cannot say that science is old if it appears. Science is on the side of the desert, and if we continue, what is the use of it after it is full? He says, it will remain the beacon of the one who guided humanity toward the direction of human knowledge that elevates us and fulfills our inspirations in lives worthy of the briefness of our existence. How many living beings are able to recreate the world in which they live? In this book, the author attempts to answer these questions, relying on the latest theories of human knowledge represented by information theories. Will the time come after that, God willing, tomorrow, will they be able to do that, or? They were not successful, and may God bless the world.